What's up YouTube, CharminEXSoft here coming at you guys with another Friday the 13th game video, and today I want to teach you all how to not suck while playing counselors. Now first off, before we start, please do note that all of this footage and information is based on the Friday the 13th game beta, so some things may be subject to change when the full game releases in early 2017, but this should still give us a good base understanding and platform to build off of when it comes to playing as counselors better. So first off, picking your counselor and understanding stats. Now during the beta, I have seen tons and tons of people playing as Vanessa Jones, the athletic girl, purely because she's fast, and personally I think this is a terrible idea. The reason why is because Vanessa has the worst stealth in the game with a 1, and also has extremely low intelligence and composure with a 2 and a 3 as well. The fact that she has the lowest stealth in the game makes it really easy for Jason to find her, track her, kill her, or even kill others that are near her. Now yes, she is fast, capped with a speed of 10 and great stamina of a 7, but that's really her only benefit in my opinion. See, if you want to play Vanessa, that's fine. She does have a good purpose. Just make sure that your whole team is not playing her as well, and you also will need to understand how she should be played so that she can benefit yourself and your team. Now if you want to play Vanessa, then you are the runner, plain and simple. Your job should be to quickly run around and find parts for your team and bring them back to the cars so that other players can fix them. While this is happening, you as Vanessa should also be drawing Jason's attention away from the other players, leading him in a different direction so that they can go ahead and repair the car and get this job done. You have speed, and that's what you should be using it for, was to keep away from Jason, keeping him distracted. Remember, when you play as Vanessa, you pretty much have no stealth, even when crouched and using stealth perks. If you look at your minimap, you can actually see how much sound you're making. Every time you see a white ring show up on your minimap, Jason can see that in the world when he's using his sense ability. So be aware of your team and don't hang around stealth players too long like AJ Mason, Tiffany Cox, or Deborah Kim, as you will draw Jason onto their locations and get them killed while they're making repairs and fixing phones and things. That, in my opinion, is the #1 reason a stealth player will get killed is when Vanessa is around, because again, even when she's crouch walking, she was still broadcasting her location to Jason, and when he shows up and leaves you behind, you as the stealth player will become easy prey, and you don't have the speed to escape Jason like she has. So remember the old saying when playing Vanessa, because this holds true. You can run, but you can't hide. Now on the flip side, what is so good about stealth players like the rocker chick AJ Mason, the bookish girl Deborah Kim, or the flirty girl Tiffany Cox? Well, first off, obviously their stealth is a huge factor, but if you look at the minimap, you will see that stealth players with a perfect 10 stealth stat like AJ Mason and Tiffany Cox won't show up on the minimap when they're crouching, jogging, or running at full speed. So it will make it extremely hard for Jason to track them with his sense ability as long as they can control their fear levels. And that, my friends, is where the composure stat comes into play. The more composure your character has, the slower your fear will increase, allowing you to control it easier and keep it down. Fear plays a huge factor when Jason is hunting players, because when he uses his sense ability, he tracks both sound and fear, not body heat. So to keep your fear in check and reduce it, you should always lock and barricade every door when you enter a cabin first thing. Before you ever start searching anything, you should always lock and barricade your doors. You have to think of the game as real life. That's how the fear mechanics work in this game. If you are sitting in a cabin with an unlocked door, just searching through random drawers with a killer on the loose, it's going to generate fear because you don't feel secure. Other things that you should do to help reduce fear would be grabbing a weapon, setting a trap, hiding out of sight like in closets or under beds, staying in groups. But remember, Jason can also track by sound, so standing around Vanessa Jones, for example, is not a good idea because she will still draw him in with her sound waves. And lastly, using your flashlight. 90% of the time my flashlight is always on because being in the dark, especially if you're alone, will raise your fear level, causing you or the building that you're in to show up red, and personally I want to stay off of Jason's grid as much as possible. But that's not the only things that are good about stealth players. With the exception of the flirty girl Tiffany Cox, Stealth players not only have extremely high stealth, but they usually have great composure and really high intelligence as well. This makes them ideal for performing tasks like fixing phones, generators, and installing car parts, as they can finish these tasks within 2 to 3 seconds, only having about 3 easy skill checks to perform. This could be a deciding factor on whether you escape or survive, especially when it comes to the phone. Now, most people will try to fix the phone as soon as they find it, which I completely agree with. But let's just say that the flirty girl, Tiffany Cox, and the rocker chick, AJ Mason, are both next to the phone box at the same time. In that situation, Tiffany, with a 1 out of 10 intelligence, has no business jumping on that phone box attempting the repair, as it will take her a lot longer to repair it, and her skill checks are way easier to mess up, and that's a deadly factor. Because what you might not know is if you mess up a skill check on a phone, everyone hears it, including Jason. That phone sound you hear when playing the game is not telling you that the phone is fixed. It means a player was trying to attempt to fix the phone and they just messed up on their skill check. So a good Jason player will stop whatever they're doing when they hear that sound and morph right over to the phone and go kill everyone who's in that area. So as you can see, stealth players with high intelligence can be extremely important to your team when trying to survive, especially when performing skill checks. So the best thing to do if the situation provides it and you're not a stealth player is to stay away from the other stealth players. Draw Jason away from their locations and drop off any items that are needed to repair a car next to it so that the stealth players, excluding Tiffany of course, can easily see them and install them instead of you trying to install them yourself, leaving you exposed for any extended period of time. Nothing sucks more than standing at a car for 8 to 10 seconds still trying to install that stupid battery and getting about halfway through your skill checks and Jason shows up and grabs you from behind, making you drop the battery and having to start it completely over again if you in fact break free and survive. Now for the other counselors like the preppy guy, Chad Kensington, the girl next door, Jenny Myers, or the head counselor, Kenny Riedell, I would consider them like support or protector type characters. Kind of like Tommy Jarvis, but with a lot weaker stats. Now, Kenny is extremely well-rounded, where both Jenny and Chad have extremely high luck, which makes them helpful when Jason is around for protecting players. Now, one of the good things I find about them is that they can actually operate around stealth players if they're crouching, because it will help reduce the sound that they're making when they're walking around on those characters. But the biggest factor is their luck. Because their luck is so high, it will not only help boost all of their stats, but they have a way higher chance of knocking Jason out and not breaking their weapon when they hit him with it than other characters do. So if you play as any of these 3 characters and Jason grabs the person next to you, then help them out, be that protector, and click in on your right control stick to enter combat stance. When you're in combat stance, it will lock on and aim on Jason. Now all you gotta do is just smack the crap out of him with your weapon and you will have a higher chance of knocking him out temporarily. Now regardless if you knock him out or not, Jason will drop the counselor if you hit him and he hasn't already started his kill animation. So it's always good to try to help out when possible. Just please make sure you're entering that combat stance by pushing it on your right stick, because it will give you a greater chance of making that connection and getting that knockout. Now the next thing you need to know about is perks. When it comes to perks, each counselor can pick up to 3 perks to equip, most of which are self-explanatory. But the 2 perks I feel that everyone should use no matter what are level-headed and low profile. Level-headed gives you a 15% chance to not show up when Jason is using his sense ability, and low profile will allow you to move 15% faster when crouched and give you a 50% chance to avoid showing up when Jason's using his sensibility as well. Now, during the beta, I had the opportunity to talk to Wes Keltner, one of the game's co-creators again, and he confirmed with me that these 2 abilities do in fact stack. So, by you taking both level-headed and low profile, you are allowing yourself to move 15% faster when crouched and giving yourself a 65% chance not to show up when Jason is using his sense ability. That is amazing if you ask me. Now for your third perk, that's entirely up to you and your playstyle. If you find yourself spending a lot of time in water, then take Octonaut. If you think you run out of stamina too fast, take Marathon. If you want to rebuild your stamina faster, take Restful, and if you feel that you would make a good protector, then take Slugger and spawn in with a baseball bat. Whatever your cup of tea, there's lots of perks to choose from. You will just have to feel out what works best for you, but I would not go without level-headed or low profile in my opinion. Those two perks are a must for everyone. So now that you have your counselor set up, it's time to talk about gameplay. As a counselor, your job is to escape first and foremost, so you'll need to find parts to fix cars to drive out of camp, or find a phone box to repair and call the police and try to survive getting to them. But along your journey, don't forget there's other items of importance as well, so make sure you're checking every drawer while moving around the camp looking for parts and such. Also, do note that every time you hear that doesn't mean that Jason is close by. It means that Jason just unlocked one of his 4 perks. So stay calm, don't go running out in the dark, sprinting everywhere, giving away your position, because Jason is not near you. You will know that Jason is near you if you hear loud, aggressive music. That is the audio cue for when Jason's nearby, not the simple ki-ki-ki-ma-ma-ma. Now the items I find most helpful, other than car keys, are the pocket knife, the radio tower, the walkie-talkie, and the med spray. First, if you find a pocket knife, always, I mean always, pick it up. It's a get out of jail free card, because if Jason grabs you, your counselor will automatically using it, stabbing him in the neck, forcing him to drop you and stunning him for a bit. Now, the radio tower, although it's not truly an item, if you see one next to a building, make sure that you go into that building and use the radio, because it will activate Tommy Jarvis, allowing a dead player to spawn back in the match as Tommy with stats that are better than any of the other counselors out there, and he's equipped with a single shot shotgun. Now next is the walkie-talkie. If you find one of these, that's really good, especially if you're alone, because it will allow you to talk to other players that also have walkie-talkies that are across the map, relaying information on Jason's location or where you can find different parts that you may need to fix a car to escape. But it's also important to note that this game supports proximity chat, so if a player is next to you, they can hear you talking as well, and so can Jason. So if you're talking on a walkie and Jason is near, he will hear what you're saying to the other player across the map, but he cannot hear what they're telling you over the walkie. So just make sure that you're not talking when Jason is nearby, because he can hear you. Now the last important thing in my opinion is med spray. I will always take a pocket knife over med spray because it's your get out of jail free card, but med spray is also good provided that you have a chance to use it, because you will fix yourself when you're injured, and it will also give you some of your stamina back. But you cannot use it while you're moving, so make sure that you have a good distance between you and Jason before you try to use it, because it takes a while to spray it on. So it's best, basically in my opinion, to apply it when you're behind locked doors, because if you're being chased by Jason, it's easy for him to catch up to you when you're using it, which could easily cause you to get yourself killed. Well anyways guys, that about covers it for counselors here in this video. I know there's a lot more information that I still really need to cover here when it comes to counselors, and I will be surely doing that in a later video, especially after the game releases in early 2017. If you don't already know, you can still pre-order this game at f13game.com, which I provided a link for you guys down in my description box below, so if you want to go ahead and pre-order it, then make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. Anyway guys, let me know if you all enjoyed the beta, because I know I sure as hell did, and if I did not get an opportunity to play with you guys, don't worry, because I've pre-ordered it on every platform, and I will be trying to play with a lot of you guys even more and more when the game fully releases. But anyway guys, hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope it helped you out, and if it did, please feel free to go ahead and slap that like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe to doing the Charmin today, and you guys are more than welcome to comment below and follow me on Twitter to stay up to date with all my YouTube videos. I'm CharminEXSoft, and as always, thanks for watching, and y'all come back now, you hear?